Hello, I hope you are having a wonderful day. The time has come for me to do something that I've been waiting to do for like a very, very long time. And it took me weeks to get myself to the point where I can actually access the Shadowbringers Master Role Quest. It's been a journey, I have to admit. Like, the bar for entry for this kind of quest is so high, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm just so excited to finally go through this story and just properly enjoy it. And unfortunately, I didn't get to do this on stream, but I decided to record it nonetheless. And hopefully, you're gonna enjoy this final journey along with me. So strap in and let's go. Alright, I do believe that the quest giver is supposed to be somewhere around here, so I cleared all these quests, and this is pretty much the only one that's left here. I do think that this is the one. Let's go! Shadow, walk with me. Glenard is overjoyed to welcome the conquering hero's return. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Well, if it isn't the great hunter herself. Are we? As if you didn't know. All four of the cardinal virtues laid low, all with your help. You're the talk of the stairs, we. When the night returned to Lakeland, we knew in our hearts that change was on the horizon. Never did I dare hope that you might help us rid of those terrible fiends. You've surpassed my wildest expectations. No, no. I love it when she does that. Not mine, Glenard. When I first laid eyes on her, I had an inkling that she was the hero we've been waiting to come along. No. Easy to claim after the fact. If you'll indulge me, though, I would love to hear you tell how it all played out. The hunting of the virtues, that is. Oh man. That's a long story. My word, there's so much more to it than I realized. And there I thought you'd only had to track down the bloody things. Gods, though, the things you learned about the Warriors of Light. So many secrets and details lost over time. And for all their hard work and sacrifice, they somehow brought about the flood? Can't say I understand it at all, but it's a bloody tragedy, that is. We should gather the others and toast their memories. Heroes of Eld, brave and true, to be remembered forevermore. Now, I'll thank you not to let your bleeding heart drive you to offer up a fortnight's stock of spirits. Attend to your other customers and let me speak with the hero here and now. Yeah, he would just give half of his tavern away. Whatever would I do without your good sense and wisdom? Very well, I'll leave you to entertain her, but don't think we won't be having that drink someday. V, I must thank you for sharing with us such incredible tales. 'Tis only right that I repay you in kind. What does she mean? With the ending, that is. With the story of the true villain who towers above the virtues, the devil more deserving of death than any that yet lingers in this world. If your curiosity has been piqued, then meet me atop the balcony overlooking the crystalline mean. I will be waiting there until you do. Wait, what does she mean by the actual villain? Is this why you guys have been telling me that the story is just so good? Alright, I think we're gonna port ourselves to the Amaro launch for this one. Oh man, I miss the Crystarium. It is so beautiful here. I have so many quests to do, and recently I've embarked on a journey of doing all the side quests in Endwalker and Shadowbringers. So I will be back in Crystarium before long, but for now everything is still just up in the air pretty much. You came as I knew you would. Never met a mystery you could leave well enough alone, or a demon that you could let live, am I right? And this demon is undeniably deserving of death, make no mistake. To cut them down would be just and proper, the act of a goodly person, and that is just what you are. I can see that. No need to grow impatient or be offended, my friend. But before you pass judgment on this villain, you need to first understand their part in everything. Who they were to the fallen warriors of light, for instance. Of course, right about now, you must be wondering how I know what I know. What a tavern wench of all people has got to do with any of this. Let me tell you then. I am the one who brought together the virtue hunters. I am the one who marked you as a potential ally to help to them and bade you join them in their quests. I alone knew what had to be done, and what sort of sinner would be needed to see this tale of tragedy and betrayal brought to an end. But come, we have many moms ahead of us still, to Kalusha and the Codger's Crook. I will go on ahead and wait for you there. Wait, I actually can't remember that first quest that we received when I started doing like the role quests. I don't remember her at all. Like basically telling me anything. For all I know, I'm seeing her for the first time, although that's probably not true. But I did forget quite a few faces in the Shadowbringers, unfortunately. It's like a thing that happens to you when you don't do like when you don't take the time to do an expansion. As I started to play in Shadowbringers, I was kind of in a rush to just complete the MSQ and everything, and a lot of faces just kind of remain blurred, and I'm only just now going back and actually learning all their stories. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. You are accustomed to life on the road, I see, as am I. Do you recognize this place? I thought you might. Here is where it began, where Adbert first met Lamet. Oh, I remember that. Still young and lacking in experience, but possessed of so much potential. Heroes in the making. Even then, the keen eyed could see. They would only fulfill that promise much later, though, after joining with their other dear companions, Brandon and Randaray. And one other, an elven woman, not half bad with a sword. Ah, but perhaps you're already asking the question, who? There were 5 warriors of light in all, but she would make 6. We don't know anything about her, do we? Indeed, after adding in Nilbur, there does seem to be one too many. But believe me when I say there was indeed a 6th adventurer lost to history, and her name was Silva. But what? What? Though I doubt I need convince you of this truth, when you walked into Virtue's memories, you saw her time and time again, did you not? I honestly, I don't remember. What a tragedy. Then you saw the true villain, the traitor responsible for all their woes. Let us continue the story elsewhere, to Amarang and the fields of Amber. What? I am so confused. I must have not paid attention to the images, and I did not see her. It makes me feel so bad when I miss out on like such a big part of the story that was like right there. But I think at the same time they probably know that a lot of people who were doing these quests were just not paying attention. But this is what makes me go back into the journeys, like the diary, and just kind of redo these quests because right now I feel like I haven't been paying that much attention to these details. Oh, it feels bad. You saw the true villain's face in their memories, and I told you her name in Collusia. But what were her crimes, you ask? Hack into my tale and you will learn. Silva had joined the others before they first met Nilbert. After their party of 5 came to this place, they took on a commission to slay a powerful beast that had taken up residence in the mines. Okay, I know that. Said beast was believed to be the instigator of even more terrible tremors, and so time was of the essence. But during their hurried search, they crossed paths with their future companion, then a competitor aiming to usurp their prize. After another tremor triggered by the beast trapped them all underground, they had no choice but to work together to lay it low. But to their dismay, even after his death, the earth continued to shudder violently. As the adventurers looked to each other in confusion, Nilbert strode towards the beast's body and grabbed hold of a curious stone, a stone brimming with untold ether that he had sought out that he might harness his potential to rescue a loved one lost to the rift. But so powerful was the stone that it warped the flow of the life stream. Its very existence was a threat, and so when faced with a choice between one life and countless other, Nilbert wept and shattered the stone. That was so sad. He had held his comrade's salvation in his hand and cast it aside for the greater good. For his sacrifice he was judged a hero, and in that instant a warrior of light was born. In life, Nilbert was a pragmatic figure, whose wisdom and sagacity were admired by all. Little wonder that in death he would retain his virtue. But as Nilbert mourned the friend he forever lost, the betrayer Silva looked on in silent contentment, for they had taken the first step on their path towards becoming heroes brave and true. His sacrifices sparked this transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. What ritual, you may wonder? Fear not, all will become clear in time. Come with me to Raktika, to the city of swamps. We must retrace the steps as they were taken to understand the depth of her treachery. I am so confused by this. Like, now it's truly bothering me. Like, how come I didn't pay attention to all these, to all these cutscenes? And how come I didn't see her? Like, I hate it when the quest is like, oh yeah, you must have done this, or you must remember, or whatever, and I'm just like, I should. I really should have, but it's just not ringing a bell. I think I've become a much better quester since Endwalker because I've actually taken the time to go through the MSQ slowly, and now I'm doing the side quests, and I'm just like holding a better grasp of the story. But these little Shadowbringers details, and especially like the earlier ones, like the Realm Reborn and whatnot, they have eluded me. Feels bad. Such is the story of us who rushed through the MSQ last year. This place is too familiar to you, no? From days descent and long since past. This was also a good story. After the events in Amberang, Adbert and his comrades grew in fame, spurring others to entreat their aid. The adventurers sought out greater and greater challenges, and in pursuit of another, they came to Raktika. That's where we saw Renderay, right? While there, the hunter Renderay learned that the notorious monarch, Balamquith, was near, and so under cover of darkness, she slipped away from the others to slay the beast by herself. Like Nilbert before, of course, you already know what her motive was. Balamquith had robbed her of her fellow hunters. Only vengeance would redress the balance. Moreover, she would not dare risk the lives of her new comrades, so terrified was she of the mere possibility that she might have to relive that terrible day. And so she faced Balanquith alone, and would have surely died for it, had Adbert and the others not arrived in time to help. Like Nilbert before, of course, you already know what happened next. For her love, her conviction, and her resolve was she chosen by Hydaelyn. And from that day forward, Renderay swore never again to betray her comrades' trust, to share with them the triumphs and the tragedies, to relinquish the freedom she had once held in the highest. I really liked her character. The bravest, most courageous hunter that ever was. That moment would define what she became in life and in death. Her sacrifice would hasten the transformation, was fuel for the ritual to come. What? The betrayer Silva looked on, yet more satisfied. They were oblivious to her machinations, unaware that they were dancing to her tune. Their journeys continued, and so must ours, to Ilmeg and Ligia. I think this is where Adbert's story was. That's the one that I did first, and I don't quite remember everything because I think I was doing it while I was doing the MSQ for Shadowbringers as well, which was such a long time ago actually. Now that I think about it, wow, like Endwalker has been live for a while now, is it not? It's like in my mind, it's still like a month or two, whereas like in reality, it's been live since, oh my god, like for so long. My life has been so hectic this past few months. I think I'm unaware how much time has passed. Like I moved like three times since the launch of Endwalker, and things have been pretty crazy for me. And I've kind of lost the track of time. And now that things are beginning to calm down, I'm just like starting to realize that maybe I could have done much more. But we are where we are. Oh, this is beautiful. I want to take this print screen. That is so gorgeous. As beautiful now as it was then. You saw it too. Would you not agree? With the death of Balan Quilts, the legend of Aradbert and his comrades had grown larger than ever. Thus emboldened, they came to the kingdom of Urbert. Urbert had long been troubled by what some had dubbed a magical plague. Innocents found transformed into misshapen fiends that the kingdom's knights had no choice but to put down ere the contagion spread. Ah, that was the story about a princess. Brandon had been one such knight. In his youth, he had served the Princess Saludia faithfully, only to be cast out for a single mistake. Thus did he take to the road where he met Adbert and the others. Having grown stronger and wiser and more respected, Brandon felt it was time to return and redeem himself, and with the aid of his comrades he did just that. Tadric, the coward mage, was unmasked as the mastermind of Urbert's misery, and by this grace Knight's blade was he brought to justice. Serves him, right? But with his dying breath, Tadric cursed the Princess Saludia, sentencing her to a fate worse than death. At her behest did he raise up his blade, and for the sake of the kingdom strike down his liege lady. With that single stroke he forever changed, though nearly not in the way that was necessary. He stood at the precipice and almost forsook his compassion for unflinching judgment, but mercifully turned aside at the last. Such a good story. Thus did he find and embrace true justice, that which weighs law and heart together and strives for the greater good. 'Tis a long difficult road from which many stray, settling for simple moralities, but I would expect no less of the man who became the Gassion. Yeah, it wasn't Adbert, it was Brandon. Yeah, Adbert's story is different. His sacrifice would strengthen the transformation. 'Twas fuel for the ritual to come. She keeps saying that. As her companions grew ever more powerful, so too did the betrayer Silva. Bit by bit, they brought her closer to her goal. But it was not yet finished. Galusha they returned, and so must we. Tomra and the next chapter of our tale wait. They have such similar names. The Silva and the girl who's talking to us. I wonder if that's a coincidence. I mean, probably. I don't see how they could ever possibly be related in any way. Like Ciela and Silva. The story was so good, no jokes. Slowly but surely, the adventurers were fulfilling their potential. Word of their deeds in Woodward spread like wildfire, and their legends grew even ever larger. But for all their success, the fledgling heroes would be forced to endure more hardship and welcome more sacrifice. They pressed deeper into the depths of Raktika, towards its ancient Ronka. It was there that the dwarf Lamed came to a crossroads, for in claiming the magic she desperately desired, she would be forced to renounce something equally precious. Dwarves are a reclusive lot, wont to withdraw from the outside world, that their many traditions might be preserved in isolation. When the stone blight began to spread, they chose to lock away the afflicted and refused to seek outside help. So sad. But Lamed would not abide this. She vowed to save her ailing kin, her sister among them, even if it meant violating dwarven law. With her newfound power, she returned and cured the sick, and for this she was banished by the Council of Elders. This came as no surprise, for she had made her peace with it long before, when she stood in that ancient ruin and called upon forgotten guardians to grant her forbidden knowledge. She knew then what the price would be. She had weighed her traditions and identity against the lives of those she loved and made her choice, though it pained her terribly in ways only a dwarf could understand, and Heidelin, it would seem. Through hardship and sacrifice was a new warrior of light forged, a healer that knew more than any the value of a life, and would do anything to see it preserved, even in death. Her sacrifice would nearly complete the transformation. It was fuel for the ritual to come. Very soon, then. Very soon. For Adbert and his comrades had stumbled upon evidence of the larger design, threads linking together the disparate troubles of the realm. A name spoken only in whispers, the Shadowkeeper, a singular force sowing chaos and discord through Norvent to an unknown end. If the warriors of light truly wished to save their world, then they would need to confront this villain amongst the villains. And that was her? At the end of their exhaustive search, at the end of their struggle, who do you think they found waiting to welcome them with open arms? Holy. The answer to that awaits us in Lakeland, our final destination. The villain yet walks among us, we, unknown and unpunished. Go on ahead and wait for me at the Laxon Loft. There are preparations to which I must first attend. I'm so confused. Like who is that? Let me go here. I'm so confused. They're just like unapologetically telling this stressful story. The filled with drama that just won't let me stop. Like, I have to find out. Right now! I kind of do like a little bit of a walk down memory lane from time to time going through the Shadowbringers zones. I miss Shadowbringers. I didn't get enough time in Shadowbringers to explore everything. Just feels so bad. Wait in Lakeland. This is here where we have to wait? I think so. Okay, up? Up where? Up here? Okay. Let's do this. Is there gonna be a duty? I wonder. I'm so stressed now. What? But what? Is that her? That can't be her. Can it? Like, but why? Like, why would she tell us all of this? Why would... That's not possible. That is not possible. Damn you, Silva. We were comrades in arms. Friends. That we were and that we are. Everything I said, everything I felt, it was all true. You mean the world to me. Like, what? You're the bloody Shadowkeeper. What in the hells was this for? I'm like understanding less and less. For you, for every one of you, to forge you into heroes worthy of her blessing, that she might choose you as her champions. A ruthless mage consumed by the pursuit of power to save his friend no matter the cost, by his sacrifice, a warrior born. A mournful hunter, scarred by tragedy, resolved never again to trust in others, by her sacrifice, a warrior born. A disgraced knight, who yearned to steal his heart in justice's name, by his sacrifice, a warrior born. A troubled healer, torn between tradition and love, by her sacrifice, a warrior born. But why? Their leader, an adventurer with a heart overflowing with love for his dearest comrades, who must now bring his axe to bear against his own. By his sacrifice, a warrior born. I am the villain you seek, the keeper of shadows from a world shrouded in dark. By our struggle will this world be shattered and its soul saved. He is mad. I would be too. But why would she tell us all of this? I don't understand. That can't be. Like, like, what? Why? Saw it all, did you? I thought you might. Mother's gift has a knack of showing us exactly what we need to see, if not what we want to, or when. They knew me as Silva but my real name, it doesn't matter. Like you, I am not of this world. I crossed the rift and came to the first. My home, the 13th, fell to dark in a calamity that mirrored the one which nearly claimed this world. I was one of the several heroes who failed to save it. Oh. The boy, Unuka. Oh, wow. I've glimpsed him in your memories. He was a friend. Like him, I heeded the words of the Asians, and that I might redress the balance, I chose to come here and hasten a rejoining of worlds. A shard subsumed by dark demands a mirror of blinding light. Primordial forces will strive to achieve equilibrium, but there was a solution. A single solution, I believed. Were a flood of light to consume this shard in its entirety, it would be of no use. The Asians made it clear it must be brought to the brink, but no further. The task was difficult, but the plan simple. Souls predisposed to light, fledgling heroes in the making. I would bring together Adbert and his comrades and groom them for a higher purpose. I would play the part of comrade and guide it a course, all while laboring in secret to pit stronger and stronger enemies against them, until finally, once they were warriors of light, brave and true, I would reveal myself as a warrior of darkness and extinguish their radiance forever. Thus would this world be primed for a rejoining and the source for a calamity. The Asians who called themselves Mitran and Logriff were confident it would succeed, and indeed Albert and the others rose to the occasion, as I knew they would. It was not to be. I had misjudged Albert. His comrades before him had made their sacrifices in turn, and as their mirror I had grown stronger for it. Had he but embraced his role and struck me down, victory would have been mine. What a messed up story! But Adbert, dear Adbert, would not forsake his heart. In the end, he chose mercy. He chose love, and I was undone. The rest you know. He sought out Mitran and Lockhart and granted them what he refused me. They accomplished everything they set out to achieve, and then the flood came and washed it away. In the wake of my betrayal, I would look on from the shadows and reflect on my many sins as all fell to ruin. Denied death then and now, and perhaps ever after, as a fragment of my essence endures. Oh god. Like, you can't even hate her properly. But then, one day, years ago, my fallen comrades rose again as the cardinal virtues. It coincided with the arrival of the first scions, I later realized, a defense against the forces being marshaled to undo my failure. I can but assume the Asians planted the idea in Walter's head. They were his creations, after all, and with their graves in Yulmoran territory, it was doubtless a simple matter to have their bodies exhumed and prepared. Who am I to speak, you may think, when I say this, but when I saw these abominations he had wrought in their image, I was filled with such despair, such anger. I cannot unwrite the past. My soul is stained with blackest sin, and I will not pretend that it can ever be otherwise. But this act, this I cannot ignore. If the Assassins were going to such lengths, then surely others would cross the rift in due time, and so I hatched a plan. I would assume the guise of Ciela and as her take up residence in the Crystarium, where I would take measures to bring together the most ambitious of adventurers, individuals driven by more than mere coin, virtue hunters. That made when the enemy the Asians feared more than any came to the first, the stage would be set. They would join the hunters' quests, and together unmake Vothri's simulacra and lay their souls to rest once more. And so you did, V. The virtues are no more, but the one ultimately responsible for their creation, the devil who set them on their doomed path, lingers still. You know all there is to know of the heroes who saved this world. The truth I had kept hidden in the shadows is yours, and there are no more secrets to share. And so I ask you now to grant me that which Advert could not. Death. Oh god. It's giving me goosebumps. Still have a duty to others. Yeah, you should work in a tavern for the rest of your life. Forever. Serve me. No, don't do this. Don't you spare me like he did. How can you stand there and say I deserve to live, knowing everything I did, the lives I destroyed, the chaos I brought, the warden's pale in comparison? Surely there's no greater villain than the Shadowkeeper. Which is why you must live to atone for your deeds. Death is no comfort to the living. Yeah, exactly. You should live in sorrow. That should be your punishment. Live and remember. I should have expected a hero would say something like that. How does one even seek atonement? This is an undiscovered country with no charts or stars to guide. How will I even know when I find it? Perhaps I may yet find purpose in preserving my comrade's legacy, in helping others to understand the sacrifices that made them true heroes. For now I shall return to the Crystarium and continue to assist Gleneric, while spreading the forgotten tales of the Warriors of Light. You would have been good friends, you and Adbert, in another life. No, we are good friends, make no mistake. Maybe you and I as well. That I doubt. I like her armor though. Wow. That was soul crushing. Like, I can't believe I didn't even pay attention to her and like all of these quests. It feels so bad. But at the same time though, the way they told this story, like this should be available to everyone. No jokes. Like this should not be limited to, people who are playing like 4 or 5 roles. Like this is something that everyone should know when it comes to the story of Shadowbringers. I tell you, I'm not at all accustomed to wearing armor any longer. Simply moving about in it is enough to tax my strength. And fighting? Ugh. Any one of Captain Lena's recruits could probably put me flat on my back. Fortunately, I needn't rely on my sword to spread the truth of my fallen comrades' deeds. Only words and the passage of time will see their legacy redeemed in the eyes of the people. Thank you for accompanying me on my journey of remembrance, V. May your deeds ever be remembered and celebrated, and as all heroes deserve. Wow. Wow. That was such a good story. Scylla appears surprised, though not displeased, to see you. Oh, there's more. If it isn't V, loitering about the stairs just like any old day. And here I was, worried that you'd gone back to your world for good, and I was too late. What does she mean? It's just that I've been thinking about the crystals belonging to the Warriors of Light. I hear they ended up with you after you lot defeated the Virtues. I assumed you have Arbirds as well. Indeed, that does seem appropriate. His bond with Seto is deep and enduring. That was such a strong scene. As for the others, I had hoped you might be persuaded to leave them in my care. Why? It was only right that they, like Adbert, should accompany you on your journey to set this world back on its proper course. Yet, you now have a home you must return to, while the first is theirs. After all they did to keep it safe, they deserve to be here to see what its future holds. Well, maybe she does have a point, but I'm not sure she's the right person I would leave their, you know, belongings to. Oh, don't make that face. I know it's a big decision, but it needn't fall entirely to you. There are others here who came to the Warrior of Light as much as you do, aren't there? I'm not sure I want to give her those crystals, to be honest. Now that's some damn fine ale. How many should I order for you? I know you ain't much of a drinker, so 6, 7? Easy there, girl. What? You want help deciding the fate of Lamon's crystal? And the others too? Does this place have any bigger tankards? Well, if you insist. Lurek owes me drinks, plural, so I'll make sure he joins us. Maybe find Grandson while I'm at it. You go on and wait with Sarah and Taynor. Order around while I'm out, you hear? Yeah, I guess this is actually wildly appropriate to have them decide over the crystals as well. Good to see you, V. What did you say that has Geo so worked up? The crystals, eh? That does sound like a conversation worth getting everyone together for. Did Lurek really promise to pay for Geoth's drinks? That's a disaster in the making. Not just hers, rounds for the lot of us. Might be that the lad yet has a few things to learn about coin and the scarcity thereof. Still, I'll not turn down his generosity. Go and tell the barkeep we'll be needing food and ale for the table. Fine, but please try to exercise some restraint. I'll not carry you back to the room again. Oh, they're so good. Aww. Here we are. How much of a head start did you get? Should I ask him to bring out the cask? I reckon we should hear V out first. So beautiful to see them all again. So, you're telling me that the barmaid was one of Nilbert's companions, not to mention the Shadowkeeper? And from a different world? That's laying it on a bit thick. They don't believe me. Certainly raises questions. Why? Such as how she retains her youthful visage. Not that. I had my suspicions about her. The other night I was at the counter, quaffling my ale, having a grand time. The next I realize I'm outside without a guild to my name, and it ain't the first time. It could only be the power of the Shadowkeeper. You know what? I highly doubt that. And not that you drink enough to fell a small army. if V says it's true, I'm inclined to believe it, which leaves us with the matter of entrusting the crystals to her. She's right that this was Brandon's home, the others too, and it's home to their most important memories. Not all of them good, maybe, but everyone they loved is laid to rest here. Yeah, and we kind of need to leave. I agree. No blood belongs here. Adverse crystals is with Sato in this world. Lamet would want to be near. Brenda Ray as well, I think. She'd want to be with her friends in the place that she loved. It seems we all agree. A toast then to the Warriors of Light. Oh wow. Holy. To the Warriors of Light. Wow, she does drink a lot. Drink up. I'm paying, and as bounty hunters, I expect you all to take proper advantage of that. I hate to disappoint, but I'm not much for alcohol. This juice looks nice, though. What is that? Oh, that's not... That's not juice? What is that? Oh gosh. Everyone's so wasted. uh, is he okay there? Oh god. How did you manage this? Twice the mess in half the time as normal patrons, I swear. I overheard your conversation, by the way. Do you agree with your friends? The crystals are yours, Storykeeper. They would know best. They wouldn't, but like what are we supposed to say? Look at them. I'll be certain not to disappoint them. The story's so good. Like, holy shit. Thank you. Wait, what's happening? Maybe it's because she's near them. Is there something happening? I can feel them, their memories. I mean, she was their closest friend. But we still don't know how she continues to be, like, young, right? Why? Why, damn it? You're all just like Albert. I betrayed you, I manipulated you, and still... You thought of me as a comrade, a friend, until the very end. Like, she didn't necessarily want to, trick them. She was from another world, after all, and she was trying to look out for their, for herself and for her world as well. And it's just a difficult spot to be in. We finally managed to clean up after you lot, for the most part. Perhaps next time we should set down a tarpaulin. Nevertheless, I'm grateful to you for entrusting these to me, and as long as I live, I will never stop sharing the true tale of the warriors of light with my friends. Ciel is not finished with you yet. Hero's journey. What? Seeing the lot of you together like that, it reminds me of the old days. Albert and the rest, drinking and bickering and laughing, drove each other half mad at times, but there was never any question of who'd be there when times got rough. Can't help but wonder, can I? If I'd had companions like that back home, could it have been saved? I'm not the only one who tried, though each of us stood alone. There was Unokai, who met, he was working with Elizabeth at the time. And now I'm pronouncing the name sounds familiar. Oh, we know him. Yes, he too was one would-be savior of the 13th, and was spared his fated demise by Asian devices. We spoke once, after the destruction of our world. If the others could be saved, we thought we yet had parts to play. What's he up to now that Elidibus is gone, though? I have no idea. Has he found himself a new role, as I have, or does he feel as adrift as we were back then? If you encounter him, Source, I ask that you help him find a way forward, just as you have helped all of us there. I wonder if we get to. Oh, we do get to see him. Wow. Wow, the way they tie up the story. It's just incredible, isn't it? Like I did not expect her to be from the 13th, and I definitely did not expect Unukahai to be here. Wow. And that's why like when Luneth and I were doing the Endwalker, like the 6.1 quest, he did say that he had like an extra line of text because he finished the Shadowbringers Master Role Quest, and I didn't have it. So I was a bit bummed about that. Am I supposed to go up? No. Oh, I'm actually supposed to go to the office. I remember. It's like seeing the stories mix up here a little bit. Like Tataru from Endwalker. Bye, Tataru. See you later. Uh, that's okay. It's never too late to do these awesome quests. Well, Medby, what brings you here today? Rianger did apprise me of your travels in the first, and of what became of Elidibus at long last. But I was not aware that you were working with Silva. Yeah, us too. I consider her a comrade of sorts, though our time together was short. Looking upon the twisted remains of the world you tried to save creates a bond that few can understand. At that time we spoke of what we could hope to achieve with our newfound immortality, and of our regrets. Though I then believed that what had happened to be the natural result of my age and experience, I now think it was merely the least painful explanation I could offer myself. Silva is right. We ought to have sought each other out before it was too late. Yeah, maybe if they like formed a party of sorts, maybe things would have been different indeed. I would not make the same mistake again. With the warring tribe gone, I'm indeed in need of a new purpose, but to seek it alone is folly. I should like to speak with Silva, assuming such a thing is possible. As I mentioned, she understands how I feel more than any other. Way. Plus, all requires your soul. Yeah, we can put him in a bottle, take him there. I wonder if that's actually gonna work. Speak of the spirit vessel, correct? The means by which the science returned to the source. If I understand the principles at work correctly, then it was a near miracle that you succeeded in bringing them back without killing them. Yeah, at least we didn't kill Graha, right? If Elidibus is to be believed, however, my current state makes me something of an exception in matters of life and death. Technically, yeah, he's immortal. In which case, there's no to be lost for making the attempt. Please say you'll help. Sure, jump in. Need an expert in the spirit vessels. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I mean, technically, we had help last time, so well, help. We didn't really do anything. We just carried the bottle. It was our puppy friend who made it happen. Pray forgive the delay. Thou didst seek my counsel. Aye, the gifts granted young Unukalhai by Heidelin and the Asians may prove a boon in easing the transition. However, I know not to what extent, nor what might befall thy spirit should it be lost betwixt worlds. Nevertheless, I know that this is my path forward. Please, Oyanje. Oh, I forgot that the two of them actually work together in the spirit vessels. Very well. If thou believes that thou shalt find new purpose in the first, I will do all in my power to see thee safely there. We shall be but a few moments. Mayhap a worthy tome might keep thee occupied whilst I perform the necessary magics. Thanks. I'd rather just sit here and wait, but that's okay. Oh gosh. Decent spot. Well, the only tome that we have is the Triad. Decent spot. It's hilarious. Tis done. Pray guard his vessel well. Onuglahai is as I and the other scions were on the first, a soul with form, yet no true body. Thus it was a simple matter to transfer him to the vessel using the selfsame process as before. To withdraw his essence once across the rift ought to prove similarly straightforward. However, I fear that such an existence cannot sustain itself indefinitely. Look to the Asians' example. Their persistent use of flesh and blood vessels surely had cause. Be a danger akin to that which would have befallen us had we not returned to the source. I know not, but the time may come when the boy requireth a fully corporeal form. Should this come to pass, I trust that thou shalt come to his aid. We'll try. For the moment, however, thou needst only convey the spirit vessel to Bekaluk. Farewell, both of thee. Alright, go to the first. Cabinet of Curiosity. And we are just free to walk around. Meanwhile, how crazy is that? Well, I guess they had to explain how in the world we're still able to go and do all this stuff. Collect all our Shadowbringers mounts and whatnot. Everything that I missed out on. In all seriousness, though, one day I will come back. I'll come back and I will finally collect everything. Like as someone who just enjoys collecting in MMOs, it just sucks to have so much content to catch up on that takes so much time. Back again, are you? I'm flattered that you've grown so fond and orphaned, or I would be, but you have that expression you lot always wear when you're about to ask me for something. Yeah, do something with this, please. You did what? After all of the perils your friends faced and the labors we undertook to return them to your world, you brought another soul across the rift? Have you no common sense? Nope. Clearly. Nevertheless, for my own peace of mind, I'll assume you have a compelling reason for this. Removing spirit from vessel will be easy enough, I suppose. However, it requires a few moments without your breathing down my neck. Also, your friend is unlikely to materialize with clothes on, so I doubt they'll want an audience. You should wait here. Perhaps leave the opportunity for some self-reflection. It's like sit in the corner and think about your behavior. Think about what you've done. Oh, very well. At least I tried. We'll find you at the Wandering Stars directly then. Okay, we can go to the markets, I suppose. So beautiful here. I love this library. To the markets we go. Markets, markets, markets. There we go. Well, that is far away. Up we go. Is this where we go? Yeah, it's at a... Is it a tavern? There's a tavern. You want me to speak with someone? Very well. You've done the same at my request often enough. Oh, this is gonna be nice. How long are we meant to wait for this friend of yours? I do have work to do, you know. Oh, if you knew who you were waiting for. Ah, here you are. Pardon the delay. It took some time to acquire robes of an appropriate size. Is this them? Oh, they don't know each other? Can't believe we actually brought them here. Silva! What? Unuklahai? Indeed, it is I. Trust me, I can hardly believe that I'm here myself. I should think so. When I sent V to ask after you, it never occurred to me that you might be able to cross the rift without Ascian aid. No mysterious mask? Lost your taste for subterfuge, I see. I mean, he's in another world. Who's gonna know him, right? My choices and my reasons are my own now. If I am to have faith in them, in myself, I cannot hide who I am. Speaking of which, Unuglahai was kind enough to fill me in, unlike some, and I was interested to hear of an erstwhile hero of the 13th, serving libations at the Wandering Stairs. But that this hero should be you surpasses the scope of even my considerable imaginings. Was that you at the Gruen's Lake so long ago? Not so long to me, or to you, mayhap, though I had thought I might at last put those days behind me. But perhaps this is for the best. They're not all bad memories. They never are. See, they do know each other. I should very much like to hear your story, should you be willing to share it. Our world, like this one, has had its share of would-be heroes, myself and Ukulahai among them. Unlike your warriors of light, however, each was unaware of, or unconcerned with, our fellows. But to fight alone is to fall alone, and the insidious ether of the Auracite used to seal Primal's corrupted once noble souls and turn them, one by one, to darkness. Even those who resisted this fate could not escape its consequences, no surprise perhaps, as we continued to struggle in solitude. We were spared by Ascian machinations, but only as our world met its death. But what if that death could be undone? If I was told that much of the first was consumed by light, as our home was by darkness, yet balance and life are being restored to even that scoured land they call the empty. If such a thing is possible, then why not the reverse? Can we not bring light back to the 13th? Even the Ascians considered the 13th lost, thus was it excluded from the rejoining. But what say you? You have a way of making miracles happen. It's possible the world of darkness was not in a state I'd consider salvageable. Well, yeah, that for sure. But I have a feeling this is all really gonna tie up in Endwalker because the story is already taking us there, and I have a feeling we're gonna be able to do something after all. You speak almost as though you've really seen it. Wait, pardon the interruption, but might I suggest a closer examination of conditions on the 13th before we form any conclusions? How would we go about that safely? Use the Crystal Tower to open the Void Gate, couldn't we? Please? I mean, after doing the Endwalker 6.1, this is not what I would normally say, but I want to hear what they want to say. You lost your head! The Crystal Tower is not a toy, and you are not to use it to unleash great and terrible void send upon this world. According to the records, there was a group who worked out how to open small void gates, though, which to summon minor fell beasts and the like. Magics of that nature should work, though I'm unsure if any with knowledge of the original technique yet live. Sounds familiar. There's one over there. There is! We should go talk to him. How fortunate. Let us inquire with this Tainor immediately. Yes, you do that. In the meantime, I will ready a means for peering into the depths of the void without endangering ourselves. Use these to contact me when you're prepared to open the gate. Are we really gonna do this? We shall, at the very first opportunity, I promise. Where is this? This is gonna take us to the tower, I suppose. Oh, God. I love how this is tying into his story as well. Like he's finally getting his moment. It's always a pleasure, V. Hi, but who's your friend? I don't believe we met. We have not, as I'm not from this world. The situation is rather complicated, but I hope that you might be willing to assist me. kind of cool how you can do that, right? It is true that we had the means to open such portals. We called them hollows, and it was through one of these that I was drawn into the rift. So it is possible. Not with my power alone. I understand the greatness of your need, and were Nilbert still at my side, I should be glad to make the attempt, but the technique required the combined force of our energies and resonance. Maybe we can help him. If one person's magics are insufficient, perhaps I could assist. From what I can sense, our ethereal reserves are roughly equivalent, and our physical similarities suggest that our energies are not incompatible. I fear you underestimate the difficulty of the task. Norbert and I were born for this, and even so, it took us years before our efforts were perfectly in step. Oh, don't underestimate Ulukai. I realize that it's a lot to ask, considering that we just met, but can we not at least attempt it? Yours is the only such magic I've ever heard of, and if we might actually be able to save my home. May I interject? You will recall that the crystals in my possession preserve the memories of the former warriors of light, including Nilbert's in ethereal form. And Ulunklahai here has a particular talent for interpreting the minds and motives of ethereal beings, the primals. If I could apply the same principles to interpret Nilbert's crystal, an experiment worth trying at least, I'll fetch it. I wonder how this is all gonna tie with Endwalker. Like I'm right now, like I'm starting to be quite sure that there is a connection. They just waited like a long time to make it. Speak to me, Nilbert. These memories of training with Tainer remain. They do, and such strong sentiment with them. Tainer, you should know that Nilbert desired nothing so much as to rescue you, his dearest friend. He held so furiously to his memories of the technique you mastered together because he hoped they might be your salvation. Oh, Nilbert, I won't let them go to waste. I will do what I can to see the 13th restored. Thank you. I won't pretend I understand half of what's going on here. Just keep them from running headlong into anything too dangerous, will you? And now we're a babysitter. Nothing to worry about so long as you're around, I'm sure. Wicked White, I nearly forgot. I've a dozen orders to fill. You know where to find me when you've made progress with the gate. Aw, this is gonna be awesome. It's just now I'm thinking about everything in the Endwalker, like in the 6.1, and it's such a damn shame that this is something that's unavailable for people in a way. Look what High would hone his newfound skill. Step closer. If you have no objection, Tainer, I would like to practice creating hollows as soon as possible. Of course, but not within the Crystarium. If we succeed in opening even the smallest window into that realm, it is likely that fell creature will emerge. All me. Okay. That's our gate. Let's go. This is a long chain. But like at the same time they're just tying up everything. And everything now is making even more sense. I get that it was supposed to be, well, most of it was supposed to be like speculation and mystery in Shadowbringers, but this just goes to show how well they knew what they were doing when they were writing these quests. Like they had a plan for past Endwalker, even then. It's crazy. Assuming no one ventures near, this location should be suitable. Nuglahai, when I give the word, begin channeling your ether. Nilbert's memories will have told you as much, but it is imperative that you maintain focus on our ethereal resonance throughout this process. With that in mind, I ask you to take care of any creatures that emerge from the hollow. They should not be of a strength to challenge you, and it will allow us to adjust our attunement without risk. I don't think they will sink us to these difficulties during the duties. Let us begin. Come on. Flow where I tell you to. Let me attempt to match your focus. Two little super powerful kids creating a void gate. It opened. It's small, but enough to let something through. Be ready, V. Why are we even doing this again? Holy. Okay. Alright. Well, let's deal with the little void flower. Whatever it is. What this is. That was far too much effort for such a small gate. On the contrary, given this was your first attempt, it's incredible that we succeeded at all. Now try synchronizing your breath with mine. Focus on the rhythm of the ethereal flow. Alright, I'm ready. Oh god, they're gonna summon some super monster. I can already see it. Should I put a stop to this? Okay, now we see that we can do it. Can we spend some time planning this excursion to the 13th at all? A larger hollow, of course the voice may be proportionally stronger. Thanks, that's great. It's like, you go fight it. Jeez. Oh, that's disgusting. I hate those. Can I just like run away and leave them to it? No, probably not. Probably not. Where your breath ends, mine begins. Where your ether flows, mine follows. Why does this sound like the beginning of a wonderful relationship? Together! Come on, guys. We can do this. It doesn't summon a boss, you know? Unbelievable. Full attempt till soon. Be ready, V. Thanks. Let's go. Ooh, I don't like that. That is nasty. That is a nasty piece of flower. Yeesh. I don't like you. I do not enjoy you at all. I don't like you. Nope. I don't like the sound you make either. I think I've grasped the principle now. I only need to remember the feeling for the next time. I must feel as if I do remember it. Your ether is familiar somehow. But that's impossible, of course. Is it? Okay, how are these two connected now? Bounty of Hunters. Political high success with Tainer has only made him more eager to proceed. Are we actually gonna try to do this? Now that Tainer and I are capable of performing the necessary magics, I should like to make an attempt at investigating conditions on the 13th. Might I trouble you to contact by Gloop? Not gonna be happy. V, are you there? I hope you've not lost focus on the void problem. I have an exciting breakthrough to share. A work of Porksy-related genius, if I do say so myself. Like Luke, excellent timing. We made considerable progress as well, and are ready to open a portal when you are. Well then, what say you meet me at Laxon Loftwork West? It's far enough from any major aetherites as to avoid the sort of ethereal interference that would be a hindrance to our observation of the void. Very well, we will see you at this Laxon Loft anon, or as soon as I can locate it. How does he get a link pearl already? I'll lead the way. I'm too eager to be one step nearer to our goal. Oh, he just wants to have something to do. You don't mind if I think of it as our goal, do you? I would be honored. Thank you, Tanger. How do they know each other? Now we know that there's something, but we don't really know how they're connected. Bounty of Hunters. Okay, well, I guess we should fly there. No reason not to. I love this mount. I'm not sure which expansion they introduced it in. It is the PvP one. 20k wolf marks, and it's worth every single one of them. It's so good. It's beautiful. So gorgeous. Well, let us proceed. Oh, I thought we were gonna be here. Because that's where we did the quest last time. Nope. Just instinctively flew there. Wait, do we go upstairs? Where? What? I'm so confused. Oh, there we go. It appears Luke has yet to arrive. Patience in Oklahoma. I should learn how to pronounce his name, seriously. Oh, I hope you weren't waiting too long. What, you didn't think I'd want to see this for myself? The 13 was my home too, if you recall. Yeah, of course we expected her there. Why, though as I explained, we won't be the ones doing the seeing, strictly speaking. This familiar will gather all the information we need. Assuming you two can create a hollow for it to pass through? Are we sure we want to send a portsy there? I kind of feel sorry for it. Like, we saw a glimpse of the 13th, and like, oh, you know, no one wants to go there? Hell no. Oh. Oh. That will do nicely. Now fly, my porksy, fly. Oh. Are we ever gonna see it again? Is it gonna come back? Come back. Well, it's made it in. Something is coming out. Uh-oh. That's not good. Like, corrupted porksy? Porksy? What? You are hideous! What? My, that is an ugly one, isn't it? It is! Yo, who is that? What? Are we supposed to interact with it? Oh, Dwalin? Who is Dwalin? And why does he have the most epic mount ever? What? Are you kidding me? I want that mount. I want the creepy green ball. What the hell? Look at that. I hope that turns into a mount someday. It has to. Is it already out there? I don't know, but now I need it. Dwalin. Who's Dwalin? Thank you for clearing that up. The porksy ought to be back any moment now, though I can't sense it. Odd. Perhaps it's lost. If we created an etheric beacon as she did for me, it might find its way back more easily. That may work. Give it a go. Give it a go! Yeah, let's give our ether to the creepy hollow. Sure. Not a fan of any of this. Keep at it. Oh. Alright. See the snout! What if it changed? There we are. Now close the hollow before anything follows. Gladly. Damn, that was creepy. That it? So how's Porksy gonna give us all that information? How does that work? I believe it has performed its task thoroughly as instructed. Good, Porksy. With luck, its observations may indeed lead us to a means of driving the darkness from the 13th. However, I will need to review its findings in detail before I can tell you more, and it could take years to deduce a suitable solution. I admit that I'm impatient to find a way forward, but I have endured millennia with half as much hope as I have now. If I must wait, then that is what I shall do. Like thee and your warriors of light, I will persevere until my world is safe once more. That is what a hero does. I think you'll make a good one. You as well. If that's the end of the excitement for the time being, we should head back to the Wandering Stairs. Clear out that pall of anxiety Sarek is spreading all over the place. Well, that was not what I expected to do today, anyways. Open a portal to the 13th, in any case. It's just it's just really cool, like how this master role quest, how it started and how it like continued on. Like technically the master role quest is over, has been over for well, not quite some time. Let's go to the, where did we go? Um, like I'm pretty sure I finished that part of the story, but it would kind of be dumb to like not continue and just kind of see where this particular story goes, because those are the same quest givers that just kind of keep giving you the quests, and it makes no sense not to do them. Full of anxiety. Ah, you returned hale and whole. Not that I had any doubt you would, of course. Right. And how did your search of the Hollow go? We may have the information we need to save the 13th. It may be some time, years maybe, until we can be certain, but I will be here for as long as it takes. On that subject, I've been thinking. Maybe they should stay together. Would you be interested in joining us? As a bounty hunter, I mean. Sarek and I hunt down sin eaters and other threats. Sarek is like, I was not inquired about this. The first was saved, but it remains far from safe. He could help us protect the people here. I mean, does he have anything better to do? He could go back and hang out with Urianger. I think I would quite like that, protecting people. Oh, if I can do that, then perhaps I find the strength I need when the time comes. I like his eyes. Purple. Strength, you say? Sounds like you could use a dwarf with a massive hammer. I may have shared the tale of the 13th with a few other noted hunters. I wonder if they all, like, come together now. I know what it feels to fight for something you've already lost, to need to find a way to make it right. And I know that it is not easy to fight on your own, inconvenient as that little truth may be. No, they're so cute. Thus, a new team is born. This calls for a toast. In her book, everything calls for a toast. Oh, she's great. I don't object, so long as this lot carries their weight. I'm a bounty hunter, not a fuka herder. What's a fuka? What? Is that like an animal? What is that? Thank you so much, all of you. I would be honored to fight at your side. And so the Fellowship of the Ring is formed. They have their dwarf, they have their elf. I shall do my best to justify the faith you have shown in me, and to save my home. Someday I hope we can visit it together. They're doing like really strong foreshadowing on the 13th, and actually I'm quite glad to be doing this quest line at this time. I just, like I said, I wish more people had access to it because it just helps you understand the story so much better. Friends indeed. So I pretty much finished this part. Okay, we got the achievement, and I'm pretty sure. All right. Well, I'll check out the quest later. I do think that there is nothing here to be done at this point. No, these are all level 70 quests, and that was the level 80 quest. I think it was the last one. That was amazing. That was worth every single dungeon I ever had to go through to level all these jobs to 80 to be able to do all these role quests. The stories are so amazing. And you know what? Like people were right. People have told me that you can't really like feel the story as your own if you haven't really connected to these characters, and being invested and paying attention during these like separate role quests really pays off. Like what a wonderful, rewarding, rich experience this quest line was. I am not sorry for all the hours that I've put in to be able to do this. But anyway, if you don't have your jobs leveled up, if this was your way of experiencing the story and just kind of, seeing it through, even if you don't know these characters, it's still kind of a good, useful intro for what's probably going to be happening in the next patches of Endwalker, at least from what we've seen in the 6.1. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing where the story goes now that I know a little bit more about it. On that note, that is going to be it for this video. If you happen to be new to the channel, feel free to press that sub button and stay caught up with all the other videos. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, there are a few ways you can do that. You could become a YouTube channel member here, or a patron over on Patreon. And there's also a cool new feature called YouTube Things. If this video has been entertaining or rewarding for you, feel free to leave a tip and get yourself a highlighted comment down in the video comments. Anyways, take care, have fun, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Good night, and bye-bye.